fishing photos to catchafloridamemory.com and earn amazing prizes. It's free to join, and there's something for every angler. Learn more at catchafloridamemory.com. Use the code MEMORY10 on your first eligible submission for a free bonus prize.
When I heard I needed a heart transplant, I thought it was game over. All I could think about was the memories that I wouldn't be able to make with my family.
Then an angel entered our lives as an organ donor. Their decision to register as a donor saved my husband's life.
Save lives, say yes. Register today as a donor at donatelifeflorida.org.
This message is sponsored by Donate Life Florida and the Florida Association of Broadcasters.
So you want to know what no horsing around with Marion means, huh? Enforcement of litter violations has increased to punish those who trash our beautiful county. First-time offenders, you can expect a $150 fine. You didn't learn your lesson. If you're caught littering a fourth time, you'll pay a $500 fine, and you can spend up to 60 days in the slammer. Any questions regarding Marion County's litter ordinance may be directed to the Office of the County Attorney. And remember, step up, pick it up, and don't litter.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by International Diamond Center, Domino's, Atlantic Roofing, Meldon Law, Los Linderos Tequila, Comfort Temp, Campus USA Credit Union, Pomodoro Cafe, Titan MRI and Imaging, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Miapa Latin Cafe, Radware, Fairlife Milk, Gator Trim Lights, Quality Plumbing, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, and the Head Beer Coach.
Now, here's Steve Russell, right here on WRUF.
Welcome into a Friday Friday edition of Sports Scene as you listen on WRUF, powered by ESPN. Caroline's going to produce the program today. We come to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio. Remember, pool enclosures, businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they can do it all for you. They can even show off your orange and blue if you want to. They can do anything and make your home really, really shine. Full color systems, all of that. Go to GatorTrimLight.com to find out more. We are fueled by Southeast Car Agency here in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. The best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Go see them today. When you do, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you. Right off the bat, my buddy Kevin Winters in front of me. Okay. Remember yesterday I said, man, we really need rain. In the last couple of breaks, we played rain songs. Well, guess what? I woke up this morning. I look outside. It had rained. Now, did it rain a lot? No, but at least it rained a little. So you know what? Maybe those rain songs helped. And maybe more today, although I hope it doesn't ruin baseball. Okay. I wanted to throw that out there. Now, a couple things. Lots going on here this weekend. Gator baseball, after losing yesterday, look. This is the game of baseball, folks. You go to Arkansas, you sweep, and Arkansas right now is in a funk. They are really in a funk. They were beaten by Auburn yesterday 10-2. They are in a spiral. And how about Texas? Number 2 Texas goes to 1-8 South Carolina in the SEC and gets hosed. Almost got run ruled. 9-1. And that's a team Florida, South Carolina, swept early in the year. Go figure. Maybe Alabama ain't so bad. You know, when they swept Florida, Alabama, they won again. And they won on the road. They beat number 7 Oklahoma 10-7. Florida's next opponent, Georgia, won at Mississippi State last night, winning 10-9. And Vanderbilt beat Texas A&M 14-8. So those were the results. But look, you cannot walk 8 and hit 2 and expect to win. Problem with Florida, one of them is the starting pitchers have a lot of strikeouts, but they don't go deep in games. It really taxes what is a good bullpen, but the starters have to go longer in the game, and they can't walk 8 people and hit 2. You can't. Can't. So hopefully, better result tonight. Here's the game right here, by the way. Gators softball will host Mississippi State tonight. 3-game series. The Florida relays are going on over at the track. Mouse Holloway and company over there. Congratulations to Gator Gymnastics. They advance in the NCAAs. So they're going to go to the Tempe Regional Final. They had the high score, 198.125. They'll join Georgia, Michigan State, and Cal. The regional final is tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. The top 2 teams advance to the NCAAs, which are in a couple of weeks in Fort Worth, Texas. So there you go. Today, going to be a fun day for me. First of all, Final Four is coming up, and nobody's talking about it. But let me give you a great memory. On this date, 20 years ago, I can't believe, 20 years ago, Joakim Noah and the Gators win a national championship. Wax UCLA. 20 years ago. Amazing. A lot's happened. All right. Today, I want your predictions on the Final Four. Texas, UCLA, South Carolina, UConn for the women, UConn, Illinois, Arizona, Michigan for the men. It's my pleasure today to bring back 2 of my former students who both work at the same station, who both cover Connecticut. Yeah, one's going to talk the men, one's going to talk the women. All right? So that's what we have in store for you today. And I hope you'll bite on this. A buddy and I were talking about obnoxious teams and schools and whatever and fight songs. What is the most annoying to you? Rocky Top or FSU's? Which one's more annoying to you and why? All right? So Caroline will make sure all the buttons are pushed right. If you want to text the show, 352-325-3777. Brought to you by B&D Electric. Reliable, professional electrical service you can trust. You can schedule at bdelectric.com. Facebook Live questions courtesy of Ruse Ogre State Farm, your go-to agent in Gainesville and North Central Florida. Car, home, casualty, life insurance. YouTube questions courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union, where Coach Spurrier does his banking, founded on the UF campus and serving our community for 90 years. All the calls on the Titan MRI and imaging phone line, 3 locations in Gainesville, 1 in Lake City. They got the best MRI, folks. Check them out. Find out more, TitanMRI.com. Our email, srussell@wruf.com, courtesy of International Diamond Center, the official jeweler of the Florida Gators. They have an assortment of terrific-looking designer engagement rings, watches, a lot of fine jewelry at International Diamond Center. Our first hour sponsor, Quality Plumbing. When you need a quality plumber, rely on the same company Gainesville's trusted since 1984. That company is Quality Plumbing. And, of course, all of our guests, courtesy of Meldon Law, the only injury law firm partner of the Florida Gators, Meldon Law, won't back down. All right, Daryl, family and I are heading to baseball tonight. Hopefully we can bounce back. Or maybe you're the good luck charm, Daryl. Hopefully you can. John has an interesting question. My daughter and I got into a heated discussion on having ties when determining championships. We were talking about the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championship and saw how UF and Oklahoma tied for the title in 2014. I told her that made me sick. You can't end in a tie when determining a champion. While she had no issues with two teams being crowned, I thought in all sports there should be some sort of a tiebreaker, extended play, even in gymnastics, to select one champion. Her reasoning was, unless you have an entire new meet with those two teams, no fair way of having an overtime in gymnastics. I agree with that. What do you do? Unless you do a blind draw. In other words, you may have a team that's better on bars than on floor, right? Well, how do you determine who opens or who does where in the overtime? Well, I think you have to just draw for it. That's the only fair way. And I got to thinking, what are other sports that don't have an overtime? Track? They don't have an overtime, right? What else? There's more. Swimming doesn't have an overtime. Tennis? I mean, yeah, in a way they do. But not a lot of sports. I mean, more sports have an overtime, I think, than sports that don't. Baseball, softball, extra innings, basketball, overtime, football, all that. So anyway, John, I don't have a problem, though, with a tie. There's that saying, it's like kissing your sister. And I get it, but overtime in gymnastics would be really hard to do. Again, you'd have to do that blindly. Blind draw. Don't forget, next week, orange and blue game. Going to be at noon next week. Unfortunately, I will not be here. I'll be in Georgia. Jeff and I will be. Don't forget, Monday, speaking of that, Jeff and I have the inaugural program that talks baseball, softball, On Deck Show. That's coming your way Monday and every Monday at 1. Look forward to that. Let's go to our Titan MRI Imaging phone line. D starts us off. Hi, D.
Hey, what's up, Steve?
Hey.
Hit on your topics right quick, man. As far as the fight song, it's got to be FSU, man, because they do it after a 10-yard gain. They do it after a 5-yard loss. At least I think Tennessee only does it when they score a touchdown. But man, that FSU fight song is just it's continuous all game long. So they just don't do it when they score. It's every 2 plays they do it.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think that is maybe the most obnoxious thing in college athletics in terms of that. I don't know all the other schools and what they do, but just that and how many times they do it, I'm with you.
Right. Yeah, as far as the basketball, Steve, the ladies, it's UConn, man. No one's touching that team, man. They are just loaded, and they've been blowing out. I know North Carolina gave them a little game for a little bit, but they're just too talented, man. So it's UConn and the ladies. And for the guys, Steve, I think UConn beats Illinois tomorrow, and I think, man, I want to go with Arizona, Steve, but I want to see how they come out, man, because there's a lot of stuff swirling around Tommy Lloyd and this UNC job. I just hope they're 100%. He has his concentration on Arizona and not focused on what's beyond this game. So I'm going to stick with Arizona, and I'm going to stick with them beating UConn Monday night.
Yeah, that's a good point. And look, don't tell me that players aren't affected a little bit. Now, they want to go out and they're going to play the way they play, but, Lloyd has not said, I'm not interested. Players know that they know what he has said and hasn't said. I don't think that would affect things, but you never know.
Yeah, if they get beat down, that's going to be talking point number one. Were they prepared, or was Tommy Lloyd looking ahead? So we'll see, but I'm going to stick with them.
Okay.
Be good, Steve. Have a good weekend, man.
Thank you. Yep. All right. Speaking of UConn, our next 2 segments, my former students are working at the same place, Fox 61 TV in Hartford. One is covering Connecticut women. One's covering Connecticut men. Alexa Harley will join me next. She's got the men's beat as you listen to Sports Scene, coming at you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Nevia Baker-Harris. Florida Gymnastics will be advancing in the NCAA Regional Finals after their semifinals win on Thursday. Tomorrow, the Gators will be competing in the NCAA Tempe Regional Final. The top 2 teams on Saturday will then advance to the NCAA Championships. After dropping their last series against Arkansas, softball is preparing for another SEC series against Mississippi State. Coverage of the first game will start tonight at 5:40 p.m. on WRUF. After a loss against Ole Miss last night, Coach Kevin O'Sullivan believes adjustments need to be made before tonight's baseball game.
Obviously, Ethan had a great night at the plate. Kyle Jones had 3 hits. Kate had 3 hits. But we got to face an All-American tomorrow, so it's going to be very similar to the guy we saw at the end of the game. So we're going to have to make some adjustments.
Coverage of the game will start tonight at 6:25 p.m. on WRUF.
Friends, if somebody's been in business for 45 plus years, doesn't that tell you something? Trust, longevity. Well, that is the case with my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville. The Cousins family has operated that business for the past 45 plus years, and they specialize in just one thing. They give you the best alternative you have to purchasing a new vehicle, the best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Great variety, great selection. I'm driving one now, have been for years. Go see them today, Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
Nobody does catering like P.F. Chang's. Elevate your gathering with our buffet-style catering pans. Packed with bold flavors and generous portions of your favorite dishes, we make it easy to serve and even easier to enjoy. From chopsticks to dessert, everything's ready for pickup or delivered right to your door. Choose individual meals, customizable catering packages, or build your own perfect feast. P.F. Chang's Catering. Your feast perfected. Order now at pfchangs.com/catering.
It's lunchtime and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe. From Italian dishes to subs and salads, and favorites like their pressed ciabatta pesto chicken with fries, grilled chicken, assorted roast peppers, mushrooms, mozzarella, and pesto aioli.
This is Steve Russell sharing with you one of my favorite lunch spots, Pomodoro Cafe, located in the Spring Hill Publix complex on 39th Avenue near I-75. Enjoy Pomodoro Cafe today.
And don't forget, they cater online at pomodorocafe.com.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
No, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
Hey, Gator baseball fans, here's a win you can taste. When the Florida Gators take home a victory at Condren Family Ballpark, you win too at Miapa Latin Cafe. The day after every home win, swing by and score a free Cuban coffee, hot or iced, your choice. Just bring your game ticket to any Miapa location and claim your reward within 24 hours of the win. It's that simple. Gators win, you win. Only at Miapa Latin Cafe, serving Gator fans for over 20 years. Play ball!
In a world of big banks, there's only one truly local choice in Gainesville, Gala Bank. Locally owned and operated, Gala Bank is built by people who live here, work here, and care about this community. With over 350 years of combined banking experience, you'll always get trusted guidance and personal service you can count on. And with convenient 7 to 7 hours, Monday through Saturday, banking works around your schedule, not the other way around. Local bank, local people. Gala Bank, member FDIC.
Ready to dance? Right now on Hard Rock Bet, new customers get paid double winnings on your first 10 bets, and we'll keep you dancing all tourney with 2 profit boosts for every day of hoops. That's right, all customers can get a parlay profit boost and a live bet profit boost from now till they cut down the nets. Double winnings, daily dancing boosts, only on Hard Rock Bet.
Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
If it happens in Gator Nation, you hear it on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
You know, it's going to be interesting with the Final Four still going on, right? Every team playing in Indianapolis this weekend has a payroll that's north of $8 million. Michigan's is reported to be 10. And next season, the higher rosters may go as high as $12 to $15 million. That is crazy. All right. UConn, like I said, is really a cool thing for me because two of my former students are covering UConn. They both work at the same place, Fox 61 in Hartford. Alexa Harley is covering the UConn men. Alexa, how are you?
You know, my ears are a little shot. I just came off the court. They got open practice, so the band's in full force. The cheerleaders are out there. So I'm in the underground tunnel by all four locker rooms between all four Final Four teams. So, you know, we are living the high life right now.
You are. By the way, congratulations. You know, UConn got there.
Yeah.
Tell me, you know, a lot of controversy around Coach Hurley and everything, but where is this team now? Do you think it's playing its best basketball?
What's funny is I think leading into the tournament, and I go even pre the Big East tournament, they were kind of on the downhill slump. They had struggled with their St. John's regular season battle. They won the one in Hartford, lost the one at MSG. Then they had that really bad loss to Marquette to kind of round out the regular season. And when they led into the Big East tournament, they were feeling good, feeling confident, and playing well. But that St. John's conference title game loss, I mean, Dan Hurley said it best. The team just laid an egg. And that was the case. I mean, they just shot horribly kind of all around the paint. Then jumping into the tournament, I mean, it's kind of flipped a switch. Alex Karaban, Terrace Reed, the two of them are the reason they are playing in the Final Four. I know Braylon Mullins gets all the credit, all the hype right now because of that three-point shot, and absolutely well-deserved. But those two, and specifically Terrace, kept them in that game against Duke. So I think they are playing their best basketball. They are heavily relying on those seniors. They are a little injured. They're feeling healthy ahead of this Final Four matchup, though, as well.
Illinois, beginning of the year, I got to say, I really liked Illinois. I thought they were going to be good, and here they are. What do you think are some of the keys for UConn when they play Illinois?
What's funny is we've been talking about the prerequisite matchup between Illinois and UConn. That was back in November, which feels like years ago. I mean, these two teams are completely different now. They've had injuries. You know, different guys are hot now versus back in November. UConn did get the win. I think it was by 15 or 13 points back then. But, that's null and void. I mean, they're barely even looking at that film to really prep for this team because it is like a new team in the Final Four. And, March is all about playing, your best basketball at the right time. So I think for them, the keys are going to be dominating on the glass. Terrace Reed's been really good on the rebounding front as well as executing from the three. That's been something that's been kind of up and down so far this season and in the tournament as well. But those would be the two big areas I think that they're probably going to work to execute on, as well as just making good shots. Something that's Hurley kind of emphasized all year is just taking good shots and making them.
You kind of alluded to this, Alexa. Of course, Florida fans know about UConn from early in the year. But
of course,
what's changed, do you think, from the start of the year to now with UConn?
I think it's a couple of things. I know at the beginning of the year, there was this emphasis on trying not to foul. And that was something they really worked hard on. And Dan Hurley even made some comments in the midway point of the season that he felt like fouls weren't being called fairly. So now let's just go out there and play aggressive and just see kind of what happens. And I feel like they've kind of upped the aggression level a little bit. I think the biggest thing has been really the domination on the rebounding front, both defensively and offensively, I think has made a difference for UConn. Their second chance points have been really good so far this tournament. I also feel like right now, I know the stakes are really, really high, but they feel really, really loose. I mean, even just talking with them today about an hour ago, we asked Terrace Reed Jr., Alex Karaban, this is his third Final Four. Does it feel like it for him? And Terrace Reed put it so eloquently and said, he's the old dog that just won't die. So they just got a really good aura, a really loose feel right now. And I think that might be the biggest difference. It almost feels like there's less pressure, at least in the energy of the locker room right now, as compared to probably that non-conference gauntlet they had to start the year off.
Coach Hurley is such a polarizing figure. He's a really good coach. I mean, he can coach. Look where his team is. But does he wear sometimes on media that cover him?
I think it depends who you ask, right? So this is my first year covering UConn. So for me, all the Dan Hurley isms are fresh versus maybe some, seasoned veterans who've been covering UConn for years. I know that the headbutting, call that happened over the weekend or over last weekend at the Elite Eight, they've been calling it a forehead hug all week long, which I think is just so poetic. And all the players have been talking about how Hurley just does that in practice. I mean, that's just who he is. Hurley even compared himself to, Larry David from Curb Your Enthusiasm. So for me, I don't think it wears on the local media, so to speak, because we just spend so much more time with him, throughout the season. And for us as local media, I feel like our questions aren't maybe it's targeted or cornered trying to get him to say something. And I also feel like a lot of the things that he tends to say sometimes get taken out of context, because even I'm in those press conference situations, and he'll have a soundbite that I'll see go pretty big on social media. And I'm like, when you only hear that piece, sure, it does sound like he's being, a little mean or a little, egotistical. But when you hear it in full with the question and the reactions from the press panel, it's way more lighthearted than that. So I don't think it wears, at least not for me. I think it's fresh and exciting to have a guy who is so, matter of fact and just says what he's thinking.
Last question, Alexa. Look, we all know what it costs now to field a team. I mean, they're talking could be 12 to 15 million next year. And obviously for UConn, this is the sport. Basketball, men and women is it. I don't see that there's going to be a problem in raising that money to keep these programs where they are. Do you?
I agree. I mean, I think even in college basketball, I know NIL has become obviously the big talking point. I still think there is a little bit of that allure of like wanting to play for a school because of its name recognition and its, quote unquote blue blood status. I think UConn still carries some of that weight, even if it's, opponents or teams in bigger conferences that might have bigger payrolls might offer some players more money. I know there probably will be maybe some poaching of Braylon Mullins when this is all said and done as a true freshman. So we'll see what all happens with that. I think UConn will do fine. I know at the beginning of the calendar year, we talked with the athletic director, David Benedict, about the NIL fund and what they had. And I know that he even emphasized that a lot of their money was actually going to go to football to try to get football back up because they didn't feel like basketball was an area that they needed to worry about appealing to athletes because, this is UConn. You're going to get the best of the best because this is the best of the best, as they so put it. So I don't think NIL will be something that hurts UConn, but I think it's a new era of trying to find players, whether it's in the portal or through recruitment.
And lastly, are you having fun?
Let me tell you something. I left Hartford. I was up yesterday at 1:45 a.m. for my flight to Indianapolis. So I got into the stadium at around 2 p.m. So we were here yesterday doing all kinds of stuff for our station. And today's, funny enough, we're closer to the game. Today's probably the most loose day. I feel like yesterday they get all of their, pre-Final Four jitters and a lot of the more X's and O's questions on the first day of media. Whereas today it's kind of a free-for-all of asking them about their tattoos and about their pregame rituals. And, we even had some of the players come into the press conference to ask their teammates questions. So it's a much more loose and high energy day. And plus we have the fans here watching open practice right now. So I think today is probably the most fun day. And I'm sure as soon as everyone goes to sleep tonight, it's all business and it's all focused on that Final Four meeting tomorrow.
Well, have fun, enjoy it, because, it doesn't happen every year, every day. You never know.
No.
So have fun. Appreciate you coming back and talking to us. Thank you, Alexa.
Of course. Yeah, thanks for having me.
You got it, girl. Thank you. Doing a great job. Now, she's covering the men. Another one of my former students who is also working at the same place, Sean Humphrey, hopefully will join us. He's covering the UConn women. That's coming up next as you listen to Sports Scene on WRUF.
Every pitch of Gator baseball, all season long, right here on WRUF, your home for Gator sports.
It's never fun being injured. And with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news. You don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City. Being pain-free is a short drive away. And they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
International Diamond Center's values are so compelling, it's not unusual to see people here that are not local.
Every day, we have people that drive an hour and a half, even 2 hours.
IDC owner Keith LeClaire.
People are willing to drive because they've heard it's not a typical jewelry store.
For example, did you know IDC has one of the largest selections of luxury pre-owned Rolexes in America?
You're going to want to come to IDC. It's worth the drive.
International Diamond Center in Celebration Point and online at shopidc.com.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com.
Gator fans, get ready to raise a glass for a perfect cause. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill is teaming up with UF Gymnastics head coach Jenny Rowland to bring you 2 brand new limited-time drinks. Feel the heat with the fiery flip or stick the landing with the perfect 10 margarita. And here's the best part. $2 from every drink goes straight to support the Gator NIL Fund. Sip, support, and celebrate Gator greatness. But hurry, these signature drinks are only available for a limited time at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, where Gators come to win. There are plenty of realtors in town, but few work as hard, respond as quickly, or care as deeply as Doreen Wiebe of Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Community-driven and client-focused, Doreen will work with you to ensure your satisfaction. Whether you're buying or selling, she brings persistence, preparation, and heart to every deal. With Doreen, you're not just another transaction. You're a priority. Call 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411.
It's game day. Lights on, fans ready, everything running like it should. Now imagine your home performing at that same level. No flickering lights, no tripping breakers, no last-minute surprises. With B&D Electric, your home's electrical system is always game day ready. From repairs and lighting to panel upgrades and troubleshooting, they deliver reliable service you can count on every time. Don't sit on the sidelines. Schedule your service today at www.bdelectric.com. That's bdelectric.com.
Gator baseball plays here. WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Welcome back to Sports Scene, sponsored this hour by our good friends at Quality Plumbing. Well, you just heard Alexa Harley from Fox 61 Hartford, who talked about the UConn men working at the same place. Another one of our Gator alums, Sean Humphrey, he's covering the UConn women in the Final Four. Sean Humphrey, good to have you back, man. How are you?
Pretty good, Steve. Thanks for having me. It's good to hear from you. I feel like I've been meaning to text you for a while, and then you texted me. So, I guess you see how it goes.
Yep. Well, hey, the important thing is we hooked back up, and I'm glad that you're doing this. I'm proud of what you've been doing. Look, covering UConn women is pretty nice. They've been number one for 17 years. What's it been like for you covering the team?
They're an absolute blast to cover. Just, the differences between the two groups. Obviously, the men's team, they joke around, they have fun, but it's really on a different level with the women's team. Yesterday, Sarah Strong won the AP's Player of the Year award and the WBCA's Player of the Year awards, and she doesn't prefer to speak much at all. So they asked her during the Wade Trophy presentation if she'd like to make any remarks, and she goes, "No, I think I've said enough," and then walks off the stage. But the whole team is in the front row. The coach is in the front row. You see them win everything, obviously, but Big East tournament final, regional final, they're throwing confetti at each other. They're doing a line dance in Fort Worth. the atmosphere around this team, and it's just made them so much fun throughout the year because of the juxtaposition as well. It's like they will go out and they will beat a team by 50, and they will look like they are cyborgs, and something has just switched in their minds on the basketball court, and then they'll flick a water cap at each other after the game.
Gino, it's funny. I got to go to stores once. When I was doing women's basketball games, we got in a regional under Amanda Butler up there, and Florida got destroyed because, again, it was one of Gino's great teams. But he was pretty abrupt and gruff, even at the pressers for the NCAA. You've been around him now. Has he mellowed at all? Because his teams seem to be joking around more than some of his other teams. Has he mellowed any?
It definitely seems like he's kind of got that, older grandpa with younger kids type vibe to him. Like, it seems like former players would say he's mellowed out. So I've listened to AZ Fudd's podcast, and former players who have popped on that podcast have said that he's mellowed out over the years. And then you've got Blanca Quinones off the bench, who you don't know what she's going to do with the basketball. She doesn't know what she's going to do with the basketball, and Gino doesn't know what she's going to do with the basketball. And it seems like they've got this kind of fun relationship to where it's like Gino wants to pull his hair out, but she scores 16 or 20 points off the bench, so he kind of just deals with whatever he gets from her. So I think I've had fun dealing with him. He gives thoughtful answers after games as well. He's not so much gruff or abrupt, but, he also is very brass tacks and serious when it comes to basketball things. So the fundamental things in the game that he'll point out, the knowledge comes out of having coached at a high level for decades like he has. So you kind of get a little bit of both. Maybe it's mature like a wine.
How do you see the matchup with South Carolina?
That's interesting because I got a chance to talk to Rebecca Lobo yesterday, and she said South Carolina's size poses maybe, if it's not an issue, definitely a challenge for UConn. I'm interested to see how it shakes out. You start to get like kind of the big game jitters and, oh my goodness, how is this one going to go? Because we've seen UConn beat everyone they've played handily. Like the past two games were a little bit tough for them, but they have this mean level they play at to where you're not going to just get them to make mistake after mistake for 4 quarters. They're honestly like a well-oiled machine or a military with the way they prepare and the way they play. So even with not so strong games in the past two compared to the Syracuse game where they had a 53-point lead at halftime, they find their mean level that they play at, and then they end up winning by double digits because it seems like teams can't just meet them at the level they play at consistently for 4 quarters of a game. Now, South Carolina's a really good team. They've been playing well over their past few games. They had a big win over TCU, but I'm interested to see, like Rebecca Lobo pointed to, how the size is a factor, the guard play is a factor, and the pace of the game is a factor. But if UConn is making shots early, or if South Carolina moves too quickly in their half-court offense or tries to get quick shots in transition and misses, UConn is fully content just making layups and then building a 10 to 15-point lead early on in the first quarter. And if that happens, it's very hard to come back.
Sean Humphrey joining us here. He's covering UConn women for Fox 61 in Hartford. Here, Sean, you know what happened last year. Florida wins it all. They go out relatively early. Some people think it was not a successful year. But by UConn standards, it's almost like if they don't win it, it's not a good year. Am I exaggerating when I say that?
No, and it's interesting that, Alexa was talking about Dan Hurley before the fact, or was talking about Dan Hurley in the last segment, and that's something that he mentioned in his book, and we had an interview. She sat down with him before the season, and it was kind of that same sentiment of, man, like every season a coach doesn't win at all. It feels like a failure because that's the goal here. And you talked about basketball being the sport as opposed to football back at UF. Same thing. And I think the expectation is obviously here for the women's basketball team, especially after you win a national championship in dominant fashion, and then you have an undefeated regular season, and then you carry that well into the postseason, and you win the way you're winning. I think their average margin of victory is it's either just below 30 or just below 40. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but it's insane what their average scoring margin is this season. You see how they play in the tournament, and that's what the expectation is. I know one thing, though, the players themselves, like, they're the ones who are going to be disappointed if they don't bring it home, because when we ask them questions after the game, like AZ Fudd particularly will point to, hey, you know, job's not finished. It's next team up. We've got to handle our business over the course of the week. We've got to practice well. We've got to hammer home the defensive identity, just all the X's and O's things you hear from people, players and coaches. You know, the players are very much, hey, we've got to win this. We've got to win the next one, and we're not looking too far past that.
Sean, let me end with this because, you know, the knock on women's basketball in previous years was, you know, it's just a handful of teams can win, and nobody else really can. And this year, you have 4 number 1 seeds who are in the Final Four. But women's basketball is really popular, and despite all the number 1 seeds, I think the level of play in women's basketball, more teams have gotten better and are being competitive. Would you agree with that in what you're seeing in the sport?
I'd say so for sure, and it's kind of interesting because it plays into 2 separate questions I've either heard people answer or asked people. Beginning of the tournament, I was asking UConn players about, hey, you're playing for UConn in this tournament. The eyes on the sport are at a higher level than they are throughout the entire season for the March Madness tournament, and this is the brand in women's basketball. A lot of them grew up UConn fans, even if they weren't from Connecticut, so they fully understood the weight of playing those first couple of games in stores for UConn, the fan support, even down to the young fans. And then as far as the talent level goes, Gino actually spoke about that in Fort Worth before we made the trip out here. He said he feels NIL has made it to where there are more good teams, like more competitive teams, but maybe not so many great teams and truly great teams that are going to win games by 30 points and have a chance to win the national championship. So, you know, you see an Olivia Miles going to TCU from Notre Dame, and you wonder, does that happen before the NIL era where players are more likely than not, and before the transfer portal, might I add, you wonder, does that happen if players are consistently playing 4-year careers for one school? So I like where we're at. I like the scoring ability of some of the players in this tournament as well. Like we saw AZ Fudd with this crazy crossover and an up and under against Syracuse, and that highlight made the rounds. Hannah Hidalgo was amazing to watch in the Fort Worth regional.
Yes.
And then Madison Booker, just her shot-making ability is insane. Like, just going downhill, she seems hard to stop in general. But then you've got UConn who can just decide, okay, the basketball is mine now. I will take that. I am. Thank you for delivering this to me. And then they will steal the ball in the half court, and they will press the entire game. So there's just so many philosophies kind of clashing, and I hope people watch with that perspective when these games are happening, because, you know, it's the best of the best. All 4 number 1 seeds are here in Phoenix.
Well, have fun, first of all. Enjoy this. Thanks to you and Alexa for taking time, and proud of what you both have done. So thanks for taking the time, Sean. Good to hook back up.
Likewise, Steve. It's good to hear from you.
Okay, man. Thank you, Sean. Just really, really proud of them. And they're in a Final Four. But I'll bet you they're not used to the weather yet. But, you know, they'll get used to it. Okay, quickly here. Let's see. Got a text from George. And any updates on getting women basketball transfer athletes since the new coach took over? No, because the window just is opening. So we won't get that. But we will soon. They are going to. The last thing I heard is they're going to keep one of the Gator assistant coaches under Kelly Ray Finley. So some continuity on the staff. And again, our text brought to you by B&D Electric. Scott says the FSU chant. Remember I asked about the FSU chant or the Rocky Top? He says it's far and away the most obnoxious. At least Rocky Top's an actual song, kind of fun. FSU plays their chant to death. 1 yard run, there's the chant. Miss Field Goal chant. It's demeaning to Native Americans and is also the reason I can't watch the Chiefs. Side note, the Ventura, California newspaper, he's in California, in their weekend sports TV listing says the UConn-Illinois game followed by Florida, Michigan. Was the Iowa game just a bad dream? It's a big fact there in their newspaper, though. That's not good. We'll take a break. We'll come back, and then we'll open the phone lines for you and hopefully talk a little sports with you today on this Friday. Your thoughts about Gator baseball, softball, who's going to win the Final Four. Let's talk a little sports on a Friday. You're listening to Sports Scene on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Harper Bowman. Florida Gymnastics is nowhere close to losing their momentum this season. The Gators came out on top at the regional semifinals with another score over 198. They will have another chance to show their skill tomorrow at the regional finals. Gator baseball is entering Game 2 against Ole Miss with drive from last night's loss. Coach Kevin O'Sullivan thought it was evident where the Rebels were able to overcome them.
Well, certainly credit their pitcher. The starter, he had a good arm, and they mixed the match good. Once again, they won the free pass game. They only walked 3 guys.
Follow along with WRUF for the rematch tonight at 6:25. Florida softball will be spending their weekend hosting Mississippi State at home. The Gators will be looking to extend their success from Wednesday's game in this series. Florida will take the field at 6 tonight.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF Bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida Bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida Bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators!
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
We all know the most exciting thing that can happen during a baseball game is a grand slam. Leave it to Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC and the Florida Gators to make it even more exciting. This year, at any SEC home game here in Gainesville, if the baseball or softball team hits a grand slam in the 4th inning, someone will win a 2-year lease on a brand new 2026 Chevy Trax. It's happened before. Will you be the next to win? Davis Gainesville Chevrolet and the Florida Gators. Now that's a hit.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Concrete is tough, long-lasting, durable, and when it's done right, it's the foundation of everything that stands strong. At Silverback Concrete, we don't just pour concrete, we build trust one slab at a time. We're a family-led team of heavy concrete specialists who sweat every detail, from footers to elevated decks. We respect your budget, we build to last, and we care about the people on the job today and those who will walk these floors tomorrow. You stand on it, we stand by it. Silverback Concrete, we've got your back. Visit silverbackconcrete.co to get started. needed.
For more than 50 years of quality service, Archer Electric Service Company has been Gainesville's choice for residential and commercial electrical work. Whether you need wiring, repairs, or backup generator installation, we treat every client like family with professional, clean, dependable service. Don't wait for the storm or the flicker to remind you. Visit ArcherElectricService.com today for a free consultation and see why we've been Gainesville and the surrounding area's most trusted electricians for decades.
In the heart of Gator Country, some things are built to last. Traditions, family, and real wood furniture. At Would You Furniture, we believe furniture should be more than something you replace every few years. It should be something you pass down, built to last generations. Choose beautifully finished pieces or ready-to-finish furniture you can make your own. Would You Furniture. Real wood, real quality, right here in our community. Come visit our new showroom on Main Street, just north of our previous location, or online at wouldyougainesville.com.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Partly cloudy skies this afternoon, temperatures in the upper 80s. We have a chance for scattered downpours and thunderstorms west of the I-75 corridor during the early evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy tonight. Lows in the morning in the lower to mid 60s. Our holiday weekend forecast looks very warm. High Saturday and Sunday in the upper 80s. Lots of sunshine Saturday. A chance for some showers on Sunday. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Welcome back to Sports Scene. Call us up on the Titan MRI and Imaging phone line, 392-8255, International Diamond Center. Email srussell@wruf.com. And again, many thanks to Quality Plumbing for sponsoring the first hour of the show. Jim's email, the pitcher, catcher, and coach are all wired for pitch calls. Can the pitcher wave off the pitch the coach calls, or is that a no-no? That's a no-no. I mean, can you imagine I'm a coach and I tell Caroline to throw a curveball and she throws a fastball, a guy hits a home run? Caroline will not be happy coming to the dugout. He also hates Rocky Top with the white-hot intensity of 1,000 flames. Okay. YouTube question, and again, they come to you courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union. UConn or South Carolina for the women? UConn. Somebody's got to knock off. I'm going to pick UConn all the way until somebody knocks them off because I think they're that good. I mean, the beauty of sport is it comes down to one game, and you can be the best team 99 times out of 100, but the one day you're not, you can get beat. Another YouTube question. Neo, can I watch the spring game on YouTube? Okay, listen closely. There is nada, zippamundo television for this. You can only hear it on 103.7 The Gator. That's it. Okay? You can't hear it here because we're doing a Gator baseball game. Okay? So the only place you can listen to the spring game next Saturday is on 103.7 The Gator. Wanted to make sure that you knew that. Okay? All right. Here I sit. I'll be here for another hour. I'm going to be humming songs. Nothing you want to talk about today? How come no Final Four predictions? Are you that out of it now because Florida's not in it? Is that really the case here? That's sad. Very sad. I would hope, more people, would be into that. But, maybe not. One thing has not changed. My Mets are off to a bad start. See Harrison Bader yesterday rob a home run when the Mets were in San Francisco? Yeah, so pretty cool to see that. But, yeah, the Mets are off to another poor start. This is interesting. I don't know if you saw this. Alabama's athletic director has been there a long time, Greg Byrne. He is joining a list of many administrators now who think a conference championship game in football should not take place. His exact quote, "I think the ship has sailed. It's run its course. It's a great event. I don't like the idea of it going away, but I think it's reality with an expanded playoff." Remember, the first SEC one was back in 1992. Every FBS conference plays a conference title game either the final Friday or Saturday before the selection committee does its deal on Sunday. I want to ask this. Would you care if there was no longer an SEC championship game? Okay? Remember, when the College Football National Championship game takes place next year, it'll be January 25th, right? That's the latest date for a national title game in history. And it's right in the middle of the NFL playoffs. And how about this? It is 51 days after conference championship weekend. That is ridiculous. 51 days. And remember, the layoff, here's the consequence of this. The layoff has been really awful for teams to earn a first-round bye in the playoff. 7 of the 8 teams to earn a bye have gone on to lose their first playoff game. Only Indiana won. That's it. Okay? So those teams are off for 4 weeks. And I get it. You know, seven or 8 teams, is that a large sample size? No. But the percentage is high. So to me, it's time to bid that goodbye. Lou joins us now on the Titan MRI Imaging phone line. Hi, Lou.
Good afternoon, Steve. Let me ask you something. You were talking about a subject yesterday about maybe some of the issues that maybe I don't mean to use the word downfall in Florida, but not peaking. Do you think that there's a possibility that there was some fatigue and maybe Tommy and maybe a little Alex? Could there have been, if you do agree with that, and you may or may not, that's okay, but do you think that maybe there could have been some more time for Ingram and maybe the other kid? I guess what I'm saying is, could we have saved some minutes? Because every time I saw Ingram get in the game, Stevie performed. He shot well. Little as it was, but just your thoughts on that.
I don't think fatigue was a factor. Remember, when they won the SEC, right? They took some days off. And
they did.
So they got to get their legs back if there was indeed an issue. They're not playing back-to-back. So, no, I don't think – is it a long season? Yes. But look at UConn. It's a long season for them too, right?
Yes, sir, it is. It is.
And I'm not as intimately familiar with their rotations as I am with Florida, but I just never got the sense that I saw – tired legs or, that sort of thing. I just didn't see that.
Okay. Is there have you heard anything? Obviously, I think Ingram's a great player. You haven't heard anything. Is he happy? Is he going to return?
Yes.
Those kind of things. Have you had?
Yes. As far as I know, yes. Because, again, I mentioned this several times. Unless something's drastically changed, I don't think it has. At the end of the year, Lou, players all go in to talk to the coach. And they have a heart-to-heart talk about what the expectation is for them. For example, Todd Golden might say to CJ, hey, we don't expect you to, right now you probably wouldn't play a lot next year. I'm not saying you said that, but if he did, then CJ might say, okay, Coach, I want to transfer because kids want to play. That happens all the time. But I think he will get a bigger role next year, personally, and that's why I think he's not going anyplace.
Gotcha, buddy. I gotcha. One little thing on Gator Baseball, I didn't get to see the game last night. However, it seems like the last couple of starts, we're not getting, and I don't know what happened last night, we're not getting innings. I know pitches, amount of pitches. It seems like we can't get out of get it to the fifth or sixth inning, Steve.
No.
And was last night just not throwing strikes, locating bad pitches. Are we just not throwing strikes? Is it just that simple?
Yeah, 8 walks.
To drive that pitch count up?
Yeah, 8 walks and 2 hit batters last night. So, I mean, that.
Are you kidding me?
No.
I didn't know that.
So that doesn't bode well.
Oh, my gosh. Yeah,
and
forget it.
Liam, did not last long. The starters, look, as talented as the bullpen is, and it's arguably the strength of the team, you can't keep, 4th inning, 5th inning going to the bullpen.
Absolutely right.
So somehow, some way, starters have to go a longer time.
No question. And I hope, Aiden can, maybe get us out of this little funk here and get at least to the 6th or 7th. We got to, there's some talented arms.
No doubt.
In that middle of that oh my gosh,
no doubt.
Electric.
All right, Lou, I got to run to a break.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Mark, hang on, get right to you. Hour 2 of Sports Scene will continue as you listen on WRUF.
This is former Gator quarterback Shane Matthews, and you're listening to the home of Gator sports, WRUF, 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
Want to get your brand noticed? At Radware, we help you stand out with custom corporate apparel, branded uniforms, and promotional swag that gets attention. From trade shows to team uniforms, we've got you covered. Radware even works with major names like the University of Florida. Boost your brand visibility today. Visit radware.com. That's radware.com, and let your brand shine.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
Looking for a roof you can trust to weather any storm? Atlantic Roofing has been covering North Central Florida for over 20 years. We're a third-generation, locally owned roofing company. From Alachua to Marion, Bradford, Levy, Gilchrist, Columbia, and beyond, we've got your home, your business, and your back. Visit AtlanticRoofing.com or call today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing, where quality rises above.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select public supermarkets, Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud UF alum. From mild to wild, they've got a flavor for every Gator tailgate. Grab your Castaway hot sauce today and taste the tradition. Learn more at CastawaySauceCompany.com. SportsAutoCompany.com.
March is here. It's time to go big with a new 4K TV or projector from Electronics World, so you can catch every slam dunk, three-pointer, and buzzer beater. Electronics World has the best names in the business: LG, Samsung, and Sony, with Ultra HD TVs up to 100 inches. Or let the pros at EW design a system with a 4K projector and custom installed screen. Add a surround sound system so you can feel like you're at mid-court. Visit Electronics World in Gainesville today or online at electronicsworld.net.
From the Spurrier's Gridiron Grill Studio, WRUF Gainesville, W251CG Gainesville, WRUF FM HD2, and on the WRUF radio app. This program is paid for by Weeby Marketing. The godfather of Gator Sports Talk Radio has returned.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
It's Sports Scene with Steve Russell. Time to eat some lunch and talk some Gator sports.
Sports Scene with Steve Russell is fueled by Southeast Car Agency and brought to you in part by International Diamond Center, Domino's, Atlantic Roofing, Meldon Law, Los Linderos Tequila, Comfort Temp, Campus USA Credit Union, Pomodoro Cafe, Titan MRI and Imaging, Silverback Concrete, Ruse Ogra State Farm, Miapa Latin Cafe, Radware, Fairlife Milk, Gator Trim Lights, Quality Plumbing, Doreen Wiebe Realtor Caldwell Banker, and The Head Beer Coach.
Now, here's Steve Russell right here on WRUF.
Welcome into hour 2 of Sports Scene for this Friday. My microphone here will not. There, I got to get it to stand up here. It's all messed up here. Anyway, hi. Caroline is producing today as we come to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio. Really, really good at what they do. They can make your home stand out with great lighting around your home. Full color systems, fully programmable right from your phone. How about that? You can just get the phone out, program it. Really cool. You can even make your home orange and blue if you want. You can find out more at GatorTrimLight.com. Fueled by Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. The best in late model, low mileage vehicles. Make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you when you go and see them. They've got great vehicles. I'm driving one of them right now. All right. We will take phone calls. We got full phone lines here. That's the Titan MRI Imaging phone line, 392-8255. International Diamond Center email, srussell@wruf.com. And our second hour sponsor, Domino's Pizza. A Domino's Pizza in your neighborhood. Perfect for lunch, dinner, get the late night munchies. Yeah, perfect place for that too. And nobody delivers like Domino's. Whether you're picking up or ordering delivery, fast, easy, just a click away. www.GatorDominoes.com. All right, let's get to Mark's call. Mark, hi.
Hey, Steve. Steve, I assumed you watched the entire Gator baseball game last night?
I did not watch the entire Gator baseball game last night. I watched some of it.
Okay. I don't know if you've seen any replays or if there was a play in the game, Steve, I wanted to get your opinion on. It was late in the game. It was after that final home run. Score was 6-4. We had a runner on first base, and they had a left-handed pitcher in. And you may have heard the play or you've seen it. The player was going to try to steal. And left-handed pitcher, of course, through his windup and his throw, he just whips it over and gets our player out. And I don't understand. To me, that's such a high-risk play for that first baseman. And my question to you, Steve, is the player in that situation coached to not take that chance when you're against a left-handed pitcher? Obviously, if it's a right-handed pitcher, he's got to turn around and throw it. It's a lot. You got more time. But with a left-handed pitcher, they're so good on just whipping it over. Are they coached to not even take that chance, or do you feel that's a player judgment call where they have the freedom just to make that call? And anyway, he got thrown out, and it wouldn't have made the difference of whether we would have won the game, but it certainly changed that momentum, I feel, at that point of the game. And I wanted your opinion on it.
Okay, let me make sure I have this. You kind of took me on a trip down. Okay, so there was a runner at first for Florida, and he got picked off?
Yeah.
Or he stole?
A left-handed pitcher.
Well, did he pick him off, or did he try to steal second?
No, he tried to steal second, so he was trying to run.
Okay.
And the left-handed pitcher, of course, threw his windup, and as he was
well, no, he
throwing,
didn't wind up because if he winds up, he was in a stretch.
I'm sorry, Steve. Yeah, he just whipped it over there, because it's easy from a left hand just to whip it over with his left hand.
So then he threw it when the guy took off. He threw to first, and the first baseman threw to second, and they got him out. Is that what you're telling me?
No. The player couldn't get back. He let off. Of course,
okay, so he got picked off. Okay, all right.
He got picked off.
All right,
I'm sorry.
And I do remember the play now.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
the way you were describing that, I didn't. No player's ever coached to be picked off. Okay, let's just be honest about that. But what happens is two things. One, what we don't know is, was the player going to steal? In other words, on that particular pitch, was he going to steal? And sometimes as a runner, you go on first motion, especially with a lefty. So if that was the case, and I don't know that it was, and you go on first motion and he picks, right? He picks you off, and then chances are you're not going to get back. So you're taught to read the stretch and then get back to first base. But, sometimes it depends on the circumstance. It's a great pickoff move. A lot of lefties use a balk move that doesn't get called sometimes. There's a lot of reasons why that can happen.
I got it. That helps, Steve. He made it look so easy, that pitcher, and I'm just thinking that's such a high probable, why even take that chance? So, but now that, I appreciate that. I just wanted your opinion on that.
Sure.
I just think that why take that risk in that point in the game? Because we would have got somebody on, and then of course, then the tying run would have come up on the plate, and not saying we would have won the game, but
I don't think they were trying to steal. You're not, quote, risking anything. He just got picked off, right?
Yep.
So it isn't a risk. The runner just didn't see the pick play, because you're telling me he didn't run. He just got picked. So
he started to, and he just couldn't get back in time. The guy whipped it over there.
Okay, see, then that's a little bit different. If you're telling me he started to run, then
he did.
Then he might have gone on first motion, because that's what sometimes runners do. And then when he realizes that, then he freezes, and then now you're, whatever. So I hope that helps.
Bottom line, it's his discretion to make that call. He's not coached to not take that chance.
No.
Okay, got it.
All right.
I got it. Thank you, Steve.
Okay, Mark. Thank you. Top Jimmy, hello.
Mr. Russell, good Friday to you. I did that intentionally. I know you do. I did. No, to say good Friday. Usually I say good day to you, sir. But
it is good Friday. Yes. I get it. I got it.
All right. I'll get to the Final Four in the NBA in a second. I want to ask you about the CBC tournament.
Why in the world would you ask me about that?
Because I watched 3 pretty damn good basketball games over the course of the last couple of nights.
God bless you.
I
have no idea who's in it. No, don't even ask me, because I can't tell you.
Okay. Well, all right. Thanks for your bluntness.
Yeah, I'm just being honest. Because, I just, and look, I'm not demeaning anybody that's in it, but it just was not. I'm not going to go, wow, I'm going to watch the CBC tournament tonight. No, I'm not going to do that. But glad you did. But glad you did.
Well, no, yeah, the Colorado Oklahoma game was phenomenal. The Creighton Rutgers game was pretty good.
You can have great games in those tournaments, but in terms of meaning and in terms of whatever.
Right, they're not okay. Okay, so is it the redheaded stepchild of the NIT?
I don't know about that, but Jimmy.
Because is it basically just a way to keep players playing in the postseason?
Sure, of course. It's a postseason tournament.
All right. Appreciate that. Final Four. Arizona and Michigan is going to be the better matchup of the two games, I think, personally. I truly hope Illinois can knock UConn out. Your thoughts on my assessment?
Well, I probably am going to give the kiss of death here, because I'll tell you who I'm picking.
You've done it before, you said.
I'm picking Illinois to beat UConn, but I've been high on Illinois for a long time. I predicted Illinois to be in the Final Four in my bracket.
Wow.
Arizona, Michigan is a little more problematic for me. But a previous D called, and he brings up a point, with the whole Tommy Lloyd situation, not denying any interest. Will they be distracted at all? You would think they would not be, but you can't rule that out.
Right.
I'm kind of rooting for Dusty May since he has, Gator ties here. So I'm picking Michigan just because of that. And on the women's side, I'm picking Texas and UConn.
Gotcha. And then quickly, Luka went down last night with a hamstring, correct?
Correct.
Who are the, other than the Thunder and the Spurs, there's no really West Coast team now that the Lakers may be disabled. Again, what do you think are the possible teams out of the Eastern Conference that may challenge them?
That may challenge who?
May challenge the Western Conference. The Celtics, Pistons, Knicks.
I thought you asked me this the other day, but maybe not. Maybe somebody else did.
We did. We talked about it a little bit the other day. But
well, my answer hadn't changed. Detroit and Boston. Those are the two teams.
The only two that you see having an opportunity to not have the NBA championship being won by a West Coast Conference team.
Yes.
All right. Fair enough, sir.
Okay.
Thank you much.
Yep. Thank you. Is Daryl first or is Copper Gator first? Copper Gator? Okay. All right. Hi, Copper Gator. How are you?
Hey, Steve. I just was calling in. I listened to the gentleman talk about the pickoff play. I think what's more challenging, it was definitely a pickoff, Steve. He was just caught in no man's land and just froze to death and was out by a mile.
That's what it sounded like.
He didn't take off or anything like that. He dove back and was out. The concerning part and what's really frustrating and that most people probably don't pick up on is that their coach came out and had a conference before that first pitch, before that next play. And so your team is talking to the base runner and saying, hey, this is a lefty. He's got a great move. We've seen it before. Don't get picked off. It's the eighth. We finally got the tying run at the plate. Cade Curlin's been hot. Hits a home run the bat before. And the next thing, actually, I think he hit a home run that next at bat. But in the very first move, he gets froze and is not paying attention. And it's just those little things, Steve, that have been very frustrating with this team this year, that they're not executing at a higher standard than I'd like to see.
I don't disagree. There's been some head scratchers, certainly. And look, in a game, I think you know this, if it's a close game, it normally boils down to, 3, 4, 5 plays, right? And that certainly was a big one. But in the beginning, not throwing strikes, having to go to your bullpen early, getting down early at home didn't help either. And then just when they thought they were going to get back into it, that happened.
Well, and it's also, I think, one of the most underrated things in stats. A lot of stats are out there just to be stats, but the hold is huge, in my opinion, Steve. And you get some runs and then you give up runs right away. It's almost heartbreaking as an offense. Give up that 2-run shot that put it up to 6 when it was 4-3 that we just got it close. And it's just one of those things. And hopefully this weekend gets a little better, because I called at the beginning of the week and was pretty disappointed with the AP poll and with the D1 baseball about we win 4 top 10 teams all on the road and they move us from 21st. And now, we lost a hard one to Jacksonville on Tuesday, and then you kind of lay an egg here. So it's kind of, maybe that's just what this team is. You're just going to get a good day and a bad day and hope in the end they kind of put it together during the tournament. Well, let's take a break, buddy. We'll talk to you later.
All right. Thank you. Yeah. And Sully said it, and Cole Stanford was the one who was picked. And, he said, no excuse. There isn't. I mean, look, you credit the pitcher when you pick somebody off, but in that situation especially, Kurland hit a leadoff homer. The Gators had momentum. And then that was, I believe, a 4-pitch walk to Stanford. So, again, you got everything going for you, and then, right, you can't have that. Did that lose Florida the game? No, but it denied them a chance to pull it out. We'll take a break. We'll come back. Daryl, get right to you. You're listening to Sports Scene coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Nevia Baker-Harris. Track and Field will be hosting the Pepsi Florida Relays today and tomorrow right here in Gainesville. The events will feature both high school and collegiate athletes. The number 3 Gators gymnastics team is moving on to the NCAA Regional Finals after posting a score of 198.125 during Thursday's matches. If they place top 2 during the finals tomorrow, they'll then move on to the NCAA Championships. After a loss against Ole Miss last night, Coach Kevin O'Sullivan believes adjustments need to be made before tonight's baseball game.
Obviously, Ethan had a great night at the plate. Kyle Jones had 3 hits. Kate had 3 hits. But we got to face an All-American tomorrow, so it's going to be very similar to the guy we saw at the end of the game. So we're going to have to make some adjustments.
Coverage of the game will start tonight at 6:25 p.m. on WRUF.
Hey folks, it's Steve Russell for my friends at Southeast Car Agency in Gainesville, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue. They've been in business for over 45 years. That in itself says a whole lot. Take a look around you when you drive. Take a look at the car in front of you, alongside of you. There's a really good chance it'll have a Southeast Car Agency tag, just like my vehicle does, and many vehicles before that have as well. When you go see them in person, make sure and tell them Sports Scene sent you to the good people at Southeast Car Agency, 310 Northeast 39th Avenue, Gainesville.
Everyone knows Gator Trim Light is the go-to for patented permanent holiday lighting. But did you know they do so much more? From pool enclosures and businesses to decks and landscape lighting, they've got you covered. Full color systems, fully programmable, right from your smartphone. Invisible by day, stunning by night. Show off your orange and blue home or landscape with GatorTrimLight.com. That's GatorTrimLight.com. GatorTrimLight.com.
Hi, I'm Kerry Meldon. At Meldon Law, we prepare every case as if it's going to trial. And part of that preparation involves real people from our community giving honest feedback. Join one of our jury research focus groups. You'll review real case scenarios, share your perspective, and enjoy dinner and dessert on us. We'll thank you and provide you $125 for your time. It's engaging, meaningful, and your voice truly matters. Visit meldonlaw.com to sign up today.
After you work out, you can feel worn out. Reach for Core Power and rise to a whole new level of recovery. Protein to build muscle. Electrolytes to help hydrate. The nutrition you need to power on. Champion your recovery with Core Power.
Hey, have you ever talked to Ruse Agra over at State Farm?
Oh yeah, Ruse is awesome. Helped me get a ton of coverage for way less than I expected, and he serves all of North Florida. Super friendly too, actually takes time to explain everything.
Really? I thought State Farm would be pricey.
Nope, surprisingly great rates. You get that neighborly service you don't find everywhere. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I might give Ruse at State Farm a call.
You should. Call 352-240-1779 for a free quote. You'll be glad you did.
Individual premiums will vary by customer. All applicants subject to State Farm underwriting requirements.
If there's anybody that knows what teamwork and great leadership is all about, it's the head ball coach himself, Steve Spurrier. Sure, it applies to football and the team at Campus USA Credit Union.
Yeah, I think we got excellent leadership with Jerry Benton and his staff there, and certainly I'm proud to team up with those guys as we go from year to year.
Campus USA Credit Union can help with all your financial decisions. Join the team. Learn more at campuscu.com. Member NCUA.
When the late, great Charlie Daniels would need a place for jewelry he could trust, he turned to International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange.
Hi, I'm Charlie Daniels, and I live in Tennessee, but when I get ready to do something serious about jewelry or a gift for my wife or somebody, I always get in touch with the folks at International Gold and Diamond Exchange here in Gainesville. There's a lot of reasons for that. One reason is they sell nothing but the best.
Find out what Charlie was talking about for yourself at International Gold, Diamond, and Watch Exchange at 3440 West University Avenue and online at igdwex.com.
That's the buzzer. And on Hard Rock Bet, buzzer beaters mean bonus bets. Every time a team you bet to win or cover hits a game-winning buzzer beater, you score a $25 bonus bet, an extra $25 on top of your winnings. Just opt in and bet $5 on any team. As many teams as you want, all tourney. Win bonus bets at the buzzer, only on Hard Rock Bet.
Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
WRUF, where Gator Nation comes alive. 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2.
All of our guests on the show, courtesy of Meldon Law, serving Gator Nation since 1971. Meldon Law won't back down. Let's get to our Titan MRI imaging phone line. Daryl is there. Hi, Daryl.
Hey, good afternoon, Steve. Figured I'd give you a call before I head to Gainesville after a while for the baseball game tonight. Steve, I guess Jeff and Eric will be on the call on the broadcast, not on the radio?
Correct.
Okay. Steve, speaking of that, I guess I'm just a dying breed. I enjoy bringing my headset to the ballpark, and I feel more engaged in knowing what's going on during the game, even football games. Do you think, that's kind of out of well now? People don't do that no more like they used to?
No, they don't. I mean, some do, but that's a dying thing. And I think social media has a lot to do with that, because you can be on your phone messing around all the time, right? So, yeah, I think that's part of it.
Okay. Even at home, I just get more out of a broadcast syncing it up to the radio, than the TV announcer for some reason. I guess that's just how I am with that stuff, Steve. But
well,
as far as
let me just say this. I think, forget that I do games, right? If Caroline did the games, right? A lot of times you listen to your local people because they're supposed to know more about the team than, somebody nationally does. And, the little things that a national person coming in once every whatever, isn't going to know. So, but I mean, I'm not saying there's anything wrong listening to Kyle Peterson or any of those guys. They're great. But it's different with a local broadcast.
Agreed. Thank you, sir. Steve, as far as SEC baseball, do you think there's a lot of parity in baseball this year? It's just going to be an up and down season for different teams where, okay, take, for example, Ole Miss. Didn't they get swept by Mississippi State last weekend?
Yes, but Mississippi State's really good. If I had to sort of rank the league right now, and that's, difficult to do, I think Mississippi State, Georgia might be the best two teams today. Texas, I would have put in there, but they got waxed at South Carolina yesterday. Alabama, I think, is in the next tier. I think Florida is in that next tier. And certainly Missouri is struggling. And Arkansas is really struggling. They got a TBA pitching today. They're in a free fall. I'm not taking anything away from Florida sweeping there because it's hard to do, but I just wasn't that impressed with their team.
Yeah, I know you and Jeff said last weekend they're pitching, not the pitching it has been in years past. And, Steve, that could be their downfall this year, their pitching staff.
Could be. And, their lineup doesn't strike fear in me either. I just think they're a pretty average bunch. But, look, there's a long way to go.
Amen. Hey, so Aiden King will be on the hill tonight for Florida?
Yes. And they go up against a lefty who is really good. So okay. Aiden King will have to pitch well.
All right, Steve. We'll be heading over after a while.
All right. Be safe, Daryl. Thank you. Appreciate it. Arkansas got beat, for those who don't know, 10-2 last night by Auburn. And Texas got hosed at South Carolina 9-1. Texas, number 2 team in the country. Alabama beat Oklahoma. Georgia beat Mississippi State, who had just swept Ole Miss, and they beat them at Mississippi State, and Vanderbilt won at Texas A&M. So the other series that's starting is LSU at Tennessee, and then Missouri is at Kentucky. All right, let's get to a couple of emails here. Ken in Fort Lauderdale. How you doing, Ken? Happy Friday to everybody. And by the way, before I forget, happy Easter, if I don't get a chance to tell you. As for the most hated song, it's the FSU war chant, hands down. I lived in Tallahassee for 7 years, subjected to that nauseating sound year-round. Happy when I moved. He picks Arizona and picks South Carolina. Trying to keep it in the SEC family. Okay, we will see. International Diamond Center email BB. Hopes the games are close. I wonder if UConn will boat race Illinois, and ultimately, if whoever wins the Arizona-Michigan game will be the national champion. Thinks Arizona's going to win. And he said the FSU thing over Rocky Top, but the ultimate annoyance for me, I think about calling Guido in Chicago to go pay him a visit and explain some things to him. The Vanderbilt Whistler. Yeah, that can be annoying. I listen to our baseball broadcast against Vandy. I sometimes say very bad words. Well, it's really annoying when you're there. It's really annoying. I told this story. If I did a comedy act, which I would not do, but if I did, I would include some baseball stories. Because when you do as many baseball games as I have and been to as many places, one game at Vanderbilt, Jeff and I are there, and their PA there is as loud, it's obnoxiously loud. And the fans are right below you. I mean, literally, you could reach out and touch a fan. And Vanderbilt had a rally going, and they took the lead, and a woman who had to be 80 years old, if she was a day, turned around and looked at me and just waved her finger at me like, yeah, see? Now, luckily, Florida came back to win that game. But I'm thinking to myself, here's this woman who's wagging her finger at me. Because, Vandy, you never know when you go to a game what happens. Final half hour coming up with Sports Scene. Still plenty of time to hear from you as you call us up, email us, whatever you want to do. Let's talk some sports the rest of the day on WRUF.
From the first four to the final four, the NCAA tournament lives on WRUF.
It's never fun being injured. And with summer on the way, the last thing you want is lingering pain holding you back. Good news. You don't have to deal with long waits or high costs at Titan MRI and Imaging. At Titan MRI and Imaging, you're not just another patient. You're treated with care in a comfortable, personal setting. With 2 locations in Gainesville and 1 in Lake City. Being pain-free is a short drive away. And they accept insurance. So don't sit out this summer. Get the scan you need and get back to enjoying it. Visit TitanMRI.com to learn more.
The commitment from IDC to first responders is really extraordinary.
Veteran firefighter Johnny Hinton talks about International Diamond Center's ongoing support for our heroes in uniform.
IDC has helped us raise just massive amounts of money.
Johnny says in addition to corporate gifts to support charity fundraisers, IDC is there every day, helping first responders with an extra 15% discount on any purchase.
Again, thank you guys so much.
International Diamond Center at Celebration Point.
Every great team is built on a solid game plan, sharp execution, and total trust in the crew beside you. At Quality Plumbing, we bring that same championship mindset to every job we do. For over 40 years, we've been the starting lineup for homes and businesses across North Central Florida, delivering reliable service, expert craftsmanship, and big wins for our customers. Call us today or visit qualityplumbing.com. We're your first string team. License number CFC 043073.
By now, you've heard about the Florida Legends Experience in Gila, featuring Gator Heisman greats Tim Tebow, Danny Werfel, and Steve Spurrier all in one place at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Imagine catching a pass or taking a handoff from a Heisman winner, all while supporting Isaiah 117 to help provide safe, loving homes for children in need. Then enjoy an unforgettable evening at the Gala, filled with great food and lasting memories. Don't miss this historic event. Find out how you and your business can get involved at fllegends.com. That's fllegends.com.
Looking for a roof you can trust to weather any storm? Atlantic Roofing has been covering North Central Florida for over 20 years. We're a third-generation, locally owned roofing company. From Alachua to Marion, Bradford, Levy, Gilchrist, Columbia, and beyond, we've got your home, your business, and your back. Visit AtlanticRoofing.com or call today for your free estimate. Atlantic Roofing, where quality rises above.
Hey, Gator baseball fans, here's a win you can taste. When the Florida Gators take home a victory at Condren Family Ballpark, you win too at Miapa Latin Cafe. The day after every home win, swing by and score a free Cuban coffee, hot or iced, your choice. Just bring your game ticket to any Miapa location and claim your reward within 24 hours of the win. It's that simple. Gators win, you win. Only at Miapa Latin Cafe, serving Gator fans for over 20 years. Play ball!
The best conversations happen with Los Linderos tequila, like this recent conversation between two Gator legends.
Coach, you know what always impressed me? How you beat Florida State to win the 1996 national championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. 100% agave, Los Linderos tequila. Aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
When you're ready to stop renting and start building something that's truly yours, when you're ready for that backyard barbecue, that front porch swing, or a place where the holidays finally feel like home, Radiant Credit Union is ready too. Right now, we're offering a special low mortgage rate with flexible terms, fast approvals, and guidance for every step of the way. So when you're ready to make your move, let's get started. Radiant Credit Union. Visit radiantcu.org and apply today. Federally insured by NCUA Equal Opportunity Lender.
Hey, it's Jeff Cardozo. Your only home for Gator baseball is WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and 103.7 HD2. Your home for Gator sports.
That's right. Tonight, Gator baseball, 6:25. And then tomorrow, Gators softball against Mississippi State at 11:10 in the morning. Followed by Gator baseball. It's a night game Saturday, 7:25, and then more Gator softball Sunday against Mississippi State. That'll be at 12:40. If you're tired of the big banks that don't know your name, try Gala Bank. It's Gainesville's only local bank. Over 350 years of combined experience, here to help neighbors, not just customers. No call centers, no appointments necessary, no sign-in sheets. And if you want to cash a check, they'll gladly do it. No extra charge. Gala Bank, 7515 West University Avenue off Tower Road. They are a member of FDIC. Let's go to I'm not sure. I think this is YouTube. And once again, courtesy of Campus USA Credit Union, is UCLA going to make it to the championship for women? If they do, you think they can take down UConn? I don't think anybody's taking down UConn. I think they're going to win. I've got Texas beating UCLA, UConn beating South Carolina. I think Texas is really good, and they get overshadowed a little bit because of what Dawn Staley has done at South Carolina. But Coach Schaefer at Texas, who was at Mississippi State, is really good. So I think they have a good chance. And if Connecticut gets beat, it is going to be an upset. I think they are that good. Don't forget, all of our guests today, courtesy of Meldon Law, and the second hour of the show brought to you by our friends at Domino's Pizza. Let's get to Gary here. Hi, Gary.
Hi. Thanks again, Steve, for taking my call. I know you're taking a poll with regards to what bothers us the most, either the chant by the Seminoles or, the Rocky Top. in my mind, it's definitely the Seminole chant, and I have a couple thoughts regarding that. I went back to some of my old notes as a 50-plus year sports attorney who got to know Mark McCormick. And Mark McCormick, of course, started IMG. And Mark, at a seminar one time, said, you never wrestle with a pig because you're going to get dirty and only one's going to be happy is the pig. So with that in mind, you know, one of our great chants is "Go Gators!" Come on, Gators, get up and go. So I kind of came up with a little mantra when we play the Seminoles. I think it's November 27th up in Tallahassee, and it would go something like this, Steve. Now I'm not a singer, but it would go "Go Gators, go Gators," and as we're doing that, our jaws would be opening, and then when we go Gators, our jaws would slam down. Our 50,000 of us or whatever. So when they're doing their little chomp, we're going go Gators, and we chomp.
Well, maybe come November, Gary, you can call back and maybe you can start something.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Worse things in the world than that.
Yeah, well, so that's my opinion. It bothers me more so than, Rocky Top is whatever they think it is. But that chant, it's a mantra, and they took it from the Indians who, when the Indians were getting ready to go into battle, that was 200 years ago, Steve. And my understanding is that the Seminoles were playing Auburn back in the 90s or something, and they were losing, and they started doing the chant. So, anyways, that's just my opinion.
All right, thank you. You never know, right? All right, we got about, 15 minutes left. I think today, and this is sad, I guess based on what we have seen here, that either you don't care enough to pick a winner in the Final Four because Florida's not in it, but I'll bet many of you will watch because you don't have a rooting interest in it. But I don't know. I hope. I'm sure that's going to be the case. That even though only a few of you have called to give a prediction, I think most Gator fans will tune in, if nothing else, because you're going to see some teams that Florida played, right? At least on the men's side. So, I think that's going to be a pretty important thing. Let's see here. Paul, International Diamond Center email. He said, you haven't mentioned much about softball. I do. He said, who do you think the best team in the SEC in softball is? Well, Tennessee was number one for a while, but they've had some trouble recently. They've not hit. They've lost a couple of games. Oklahoma is still good. Florida is really good. Alabama has had a nice year. I think it's, and even in baseball, if you asked me who the best team in the league is, I would say Mississippi State. Now, that might change by Sunday because, again, we'll see what the weekend brings. But look, the SEC is really good in softball. Oklahoma, always good. And the cool thing about softball, look at Arkansas. They're probably the most underrated team. They just took 2 of 3 from Florida. They're pretty good. Look at their record. LSU's ranked. I mean, just it's like baseball, folks, up and down. You know, the SEC and softball, pretty good. Let's go to our Titan MRI imaging phone line. Porter, hello.
Hey, Steve. It's funny. I was listening earlier in the week, and you had the Jacksonville JU coach on, and I didn't realize at first who it was. He was talking about playing a Thursday, Friday, Saturday this week, and I was like, man, I didn't know we had a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And then he talked about Seth, so I was like, oh, that's their coach. So the point of that is that I'm a dork. I was down at my mom's. I didn't even know we had a baseball game last night. But if I had to miss one, I guess that's one. What was the final score? I can tell we lost.
6-4.
6-4, okay. And you said 8 walks and 2 hit batsmen, so putting 10 guys on is certainly not any unearned runs in that?
No.
Okay, good. All righty, well, enough of that. I'm going to, not necessarily 100% with my head, a little bit of heart mixed in, but I'm going to go on the ladies' side, all SEC final, Texas and South Carolina. And as much as I'm been a believer in Arizona all year, I'm going to go all Big Ten in Illinois and Michigan on Monday night.
That would be interesting if it were to be an all Big Ten final, because, you know, the Big Ten obviously is pretty darn good in men's basketball. That wouldn't shock me if that happened.
Well, what the irony of that kind of, you know, this pisses me off too. You go in to make your pools, and I normally have tried to follow one theory, right or wrong. I wanted to have, normally the point is that at the end of the tournament, you look back and there's something that said, oh, well, it was proven now that such and such was true. So my picks this time, I went with the theory that the Big Ten is underrated. So it was fine. Everything was great except for the Florida part. Anyhow.
Yep.
All right, go Gators.
All right.
Man. Thanks.
Thank you. Yep. It's funny. We did not get one response on the elimination of the SEC championship game. Whether or not you'd be sad that wasn't taking place anymore. Georgia's coach, Kirby Smart, says he supports an expanded playoff. He'd be open to scrapping the title game. But I think if you do that, you have to tie it to what the playoff format's going to be. And remember, that game is sold out every year. Every year. It generates, I think, conservatively, $50 million annually. So where does that money come from? Right? But I do think, you know, Greg Byrne, I mentioned him, the Alabama AD, has called for an end to it. I think it's going to happen. There won't be a conference championship game. And that'll be kind of sad because as many as Florida's been in over the years, but we all know this, the one constant is change. Final break. We'll wrap it up today. Still have time to hear from you as you listen to Sports Scene coming to you live from the Gator Trim Light Studio, fueled by Southeast Car Agency on WRUF.
WRUF Sports Center.
I'm Harper Bowman. Gator baseball is gearing up to face Ole Miss again after a disappointing loss last night. Coach Kevin O'Sullivan saw some shining moments in the game, but knows adjustments need to be made.
Obviously, Ethan had a great night at the plate. Kyle Jones had 3 hits. Kate had 3 hits. But we got to face an All-American tomorrow, so it's going to be very similar to the guy we saw at the end of the game. So we're going to have to make some adjustments.
Follow along tonight with WRUF at 6:25. Florida softball is getting ready to enter their next series against Mississippi State. Their last series proved to be a bumpy road for the Gators. They'll take the field for Game 1 at 6 tonight. Heading away from the field, Gator Gymnastics showed their dominance with a big win in the regional semifinal. The win marked Florida's 4th straight score over 198. The women will hit the mats again for the regional finals tomorrow.
He's got the 1966 Heisman Trophy, the 1996 National Championship Trophy, and 7 SEC trophies. Now he's got a new trophy, a can of beer. Steve Spurrier was the head ball coach. Now you can call him the head beer coach. Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager is available in 16-ounce cans at Gator games and stores all across Gainesville. You can also get it in the can or on draft at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill. Refreshing in all kinds of weather, Head Beer Coach 1966 Lager, a legend in a can.
Attention local and regional CDL-A drivers in the North Florida area. Pritchett Trucking is currently looking for local and regional drivers. Are you looking for a driver-friendly environment? Pritchett Trucking offers more home time, great pay, and great benefits, including health insurance and paid time off. And they also offer a quarterly performance and safety program, plus a sign-on bonus. Pritchett Trucking's regional drivers are home weekends and local drivers are home daily. If you're at least 23 years old and want a rewarding career with great pay, don't let the opportunity pass you by. Apply online at PritchettTrucking.com.
Are you ready to raise your game when it comes to your Gators gear? Head over to Alma Mater in Gainesville. You'll find just what you need to rep your team in style. From one-of-a-kind Gator tees and hats to NIL gear, they've got the perfect Gator swag for every fan in all kinds of weather. Whether it's game day or any day, you'll be winning with officially licensed apparel found nowhere else. Locally owned, locally produced. Alma Mater, in-store at the corner of 34th and University or online at almamaterdesign.com.
Domino's carryout deal means you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each when you order online or by phone. Just in case there's any confusion, we've even set up a helpful website to confirm if today is a day you can carry out one-topping pizzas for $7.99 each. Just go to howaboutoday.com to find out if Domino's carryout deal is valid today. Spoiler alert, it is. Carryout only. Ask for this offer. Availability and charges may vary. Size availability varies by crust type. Excludes XL and specialty. Your local store may charge extra for some toppings and sauces.
We all know the most exciting thing that can happen during a baseball game is a grand slam. Leave it to Davis Gainesville Chevrolet GMC and the Florida Gators to make it even more exciting. This year, at any SEC home game here in Gainesville, if the baseball or softball team hits a grand slam in the fourth inning, someone will win a 2-year lease on a brand new 2026 Chevy Trax. It's happened before. Will you be the next to win? Davis Gainesville Chevrolet and the Florida Gators. Now that's a hit.
March is here. It's time to go big with a new 4K TV or projector from Electronics World, so you can catch every slam dunk, three-pointer, and buzzer beater. Electronics World has the best names in the business: LG, Samsung, and Sony, with Ultra HD TVs up to 100 inches. Or let the pros at EW design a system with a 4K projector and custom-installed screen. Add a surround sound system so you can feel like you're at mid-court. Visit Electronics World in Gainesville today or online at electronicsworld.net.
Hey Gainesville, tired of big banks that don't know your name? Meet Galabank. Locally owned, locally operated. With over 350 years of combined experience, we're here to help our neighbors, not just customers. No call centers, no appointments necessary, no sign-in sheets, and anyone can cash a check on us. No extra charge. Local bank, local people. Galabank. Find us at 7515 West University Avenue off Tower Road. Galabank. Member FDIC.
From the UF Weather Center, here is your WRUF weather update.
Partly cloudy skies this afternoon, temperatures in the upper 80s. We have a chance for scattered downpours and thunderstorms west of the I-75 corridor during the early evening. Otherwise, partly cloudy tonight. Lows in the morning in the lower to mid 60s. Our holiday weekend forecast looks very warm. High Saturday and Sunday in the upper 80s. Lots of sunshine Saturday. A chance for some showers on Sunday. From the WUFT Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Megan Borowski.
You're listening to Sports Scene with Steve Russell, right here on WRUF 98.1 FM, 850 AM, and anywhere in the world on the WRUF mobile app.
We're not going to take it anymore. Yeah, well, we are. For another, 4 or 5 minutes, we are. Don't forget, tonight, Gator Baseball, 6:20. What are you doing? I heard you were speaking in a class today, yeah. Nick Belmonte's in the house, but he was speaking to a class today. You can watch Nicholas tonight. Then tomorrow, tonight 6:25. Tomorrow, 7:25. And then softball, we will have that for you Saturday at 11:10 in the morning, and then Sunday at 12:40. So make sure to be listening for that. And don't forget to check out our daily clip of the day on WRUF Facebook and YouTube at WRUF Home of the Gators, brought to you by our friends at Fairlife Milk. David says, as somebody who's attended many SEC championship games. I'd hate to see the game end. Unlike other conference championship games, the SEC is special with an electric atmosphere. Well, there isn't, in my opinion, a close second. Has anybody ever gone to another one, like the Big Ten? Or maybe the Big Ten might be the next best one, so to speak. But I don't know. And then I'm going to close with this. LSU in baseball was picked to finish very highly. When is the last time you saw LSU on a Friday night start a pitcher with a 5 ERA and just a 2-1 record? That's what LSU is doing tonight. They have struggled all year long, despite being picked to be a top 5 team in every major poll. And then their Sunday starter has an ERA over 6.5. I can't remember the last time I saw LSU struggle like that on the mound. Just incredible to see that. But it just goes to show you Arkansas, LSU, picked to finish very highly, not doing so well. There's going to be a lot of teams in that middle tier. I think Florida will probably be one of them. You know, Florida, Alabama, Ole Miss maybe. But it looks to me today, in some order, Texas, Mississippi State, Georgia are probably top 3. That could change by Monday. And speaking of Monday, don't forget our first On Deck show. Jeff and I will have that for you all spring. And the first one, it'll be every Monday at 1 p.m. So make sure and join us for that, okay? So we'll talk Major League Baseball, we'll talk college baseball, we'll talk college softball. All that comes your way beginning Monday, every Monday at 1 p.m. Today, it was such fun having 2 of my students on here who are now working at Fox 61 and Hartford Television, covering UConn men and UConn women in the Final Four. Sean Humphrey, Alexa Harley, many thanks to them for being here today and for giving you the live look at what those teams are going to do in the Final Four. We'll talk about that on Monday. I want to thank Caroline for producing the show today, and as always, thank you for being a part of it. However, do not move your radio dial, as Kevin and the Sports Lab gang are coming up next. I will talk to you again on Monday. We'll have a lot to talk about from this weekend's activity. Don't forget, gymnastics, hope they do well. They've advanced. The Florida Relays are this weekend as well. So a lot going on here in Gatorville, and, of course, the Orange and Blue game next week. You're listening to WRUF. I'm Steve Russell. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Happy Easter, happy Passover, happy. See you later.
Every pitch of Gator baseball, all season long, right here on WRUF, your home for Gator sports.
Gator Nation, did you know the UF bookstore, located right inside the University of Florida's Rights Union, is more than just textbooks? That's right. Gear up with officially licensed Gator merchandise from top brands like Nike, Peter Lamar, Lululemon, Columbia, Tommy Bahama, Apple, and more. From game day to every day, we've got the styles Gators love. Stop by the Florida bookstore at Rights Union. The Florida bookstore, where Gators shop.
Go Gators! It's lunchtime and nobody does lunch like Pomodoro Cafe. From Italian dishes to subs and salads, and favorites like their Philly sub with fries, thinly sliced beef cooked to perfection and topped with peppers, onions and mushrooms, and provolone cheese on a baguette.
This is Steve Russell sharing with you one of my favorite lunch spots, Pomodoro Cafe, located in the Spring Hill Publix complex on 39th Avenue near I-75. Enjoy Pomodoro Cafe today.
And don't forget, they cater online at pomodorocafe.com.
P.F. Chang's Gainesville is serving up incredible lunch specials starting at just $11.99. So if you're in the mood for Asian fusion cuisine, stop in for lunch today. And don't miss happy hour, Monday through Friday from 3 to 6 p.m. with $5.99 beers, $6.99 wines, and $8.99 cocktails. Make your next lunch or afternoon unwind unforgettable at P.F. Chang's Gainesville, your destination for lunch and happy hour.
There are plenty of realtors in town, but few work as hard, respond as quickly, or care as deeply as Doreen Wiebe of Caldwell Banker MM Parish. Community-driven and client-focused, Doreen will work with you to ensure your satisfaction. Whether you're buying or selling, she brings persistence, preparation, and heart to every deal. With Doreen, you're not just another transaction. You're a priority. Call 352-562-1411. That's 352-562-1411.
Gator fans, this one's for you. Introducing Castaway Sauce Company, the hot sauce made by Gators for Gators. Their signature ball kicker hot sauce is inspired by Steve Spurrier's famous kick that beat Auburn in '66. If you love hot sauce with real flavor, not just heat and vinegar, Castaway delivers. Available at select Publix supermarkets. Castaway Sauce Company is founded by a lifelong Gator and proud